Hi Kids Fit Crew, Dietitian Katie back again with another episode of Family Friendly Meals. As a dietitian, I get to help people be healthy through the foods that they eat, and today we're going to focus on being healthy through another yummy family meal. We are going to find our smile, we're going to complete the social dimension of wellness challenge, and we're going to build an at-home restaurant. So let's get started. Social wellness is all about creating healthy relationships with those around you. Mealtime is an awesome time to make those relationships strong. So what we're gonna do today is we are going to focus on those healthy relationships within your home during our at-home restaurant. To make our at-home restaurant, the first thing we need to do is plan our menu. So we wanna have an appetizer, a main course, dessert of course, and something to drink. You can print this fun menu planner off of HyveeKidsFit.com, and you can get as creative as you want in what you want to plan for your at-home restaurant. But for my restaurant, I am going to have almond butter celery pops for the appetizer. We're going to have California Dreamin' pita pockets for our main course. We're going to have strawberry sherbet for dessert, and then we're going to do bubbly sparkling water for our drinks. And you can print this off at HyveeKidsFit.com. All of these recipes are found on HyveeKidsFit.com as well. And then you can color over here and write it out here, so then when your family comes to your at-home restaurant, you kind of give it to them as a menu. For our drink, I'm gonna serve bubbly sparkling water. Bubbly sparkling water is great. It's super hydrating. It has 0 calories, 0 sugar, so it doesn't have that added sugar that a lot of our other drinks do have. It's got really yummy fruit flavors. I picked raspberry because I thought they'd go well with our meal, but you can pick whichever flavor you want. And their cans are really cute too, so you can just serve these at your restaurant on your table, or if you'd like to, you can kind of pour them out into a fancier glass if you think that's a little bit more fun. It's your restaurant, so it's your choice. The first course we're gonna make is our appetizer. An appetizer is a small plate of food usually given to you before your main course, and you want it to be nice and light because you don't want to just spoil your appetite for when the rest of your food comes. So we are gonna make almond butter celery pops because those are very light tasting, a great appetizer. So you're gonna wanna have celery, and I just grabbed the Hy-Vee shortcut celery because it makes it a little bit easier. We'll pop this open. And so these are already cut up in these little stems. So celery is super crunchy. It's a very refreshing snack because it's made of mostly water. So it's gonna be really low in calories, which means it's very light, so it's good for appetizers. Just kind of get you going on your meal, but don't fill you up before your main course comes. So you are gonna cut this into smaller pieces to be kind of our popsicle sticks on our pops. So one of these probably can be cut into 4. So you're just gonna cut them right like this, nice and safe. So they're kind of more like little matchsticks, and I've got a bunch over here, okay? So we have our celery, and then we have red grapes, and you wanna pick kind of bigger red grapes so that they go on the top of your celery pop. Red grapes have something called resveratrol in them. Can you say resveratrol? Good job, that's kind of a tricky one. So resveratrol is in the skin of red grapes, and it just helps our bodies to fight off sickness. So it's a good thing for us to have. And of course, grapes are yummy and tasty and sweet all on their own, so they're a great addition. And then you can pick any type of nuts or seeds you want. I picked pistachios. Nuts and seeds are gonna have a good amount of fiber that keep us full, and they're also gonna have protein that does that as well, and heart healthy fat. So there's a lot of nutrients in our nuts and our seeds. And then you're gonna pick a dried fruit, and I just picked some raisins because I thought it would go well, obviously, with the grapes. And dried fruit is a really good source of fiber as well. And then we've got almond butter. And so almond butter is just like peanut butter, except for it's made from almonds. So it's got really good heart healthy fat, really good protein, and it tastes great. It's nice and creamy. So what you're gonna do is we've already cut our celery sticks, so we're gonna leave those here for now. We're gonna open our almond butter. We're gonna take a butter knife, and we are just going to smear some almond butter around our grapes. And your hands are probably gonna get messy. That's okay. And I'm just gonna set my knife down here. And I'm gonna take some pistachios, and I'm just gonna kind of decorate it. And you can do just nuts on there. You can add nuts and dried fruit. So I'm gonna do pistachios and raisins. Okay. And then once you kind of got your pop all set, you are going to take the celery and you're just gonna squeeze it right in there. And if you need to make a cut beforehand, you can, but that is what your celery pops are gonna look like. Once you have your celery pops finished, they'll look a little something like this. You can plate them on a fun looking plate and then bring this out first before the main course at your at-home restaurant. On to our main course, California Dreamin' Pita Pockets. So we are going to need pita pockets, and if you've never used these before, they're really kind of fun. I picked whole wheat pita pockets just because they're higher in fiber, so they fill us up for longer. But if you can see, there's a little crease right in here. So you just kind of bend it on that crease, tear it down the middle, and then it's already separated. So you have a pita pocket, okay? So whole wheat pita pocket, multi-grain pita pocket, any one will work, okay? And then we've got some diced up avocado. And avocado is fantastic because it's one of the only produce options that have fat in it, and it's heart healthy fat. So it's good for our heart, and it also has vitamin E in it, which is good for our immune system. Then we've got some diced up tomatoes. Tomatoes have a carotenoid in them called lycopene. This helps us fight against heart disease and cancer, gives us a really pretty color in our pita pockets. And then we've got some sliced up cucumbers. Cucumbers are made up of mostly water, so they're really refreshing, a hydrating snack. They're nice and crunchy, and they also have potassium in them, which is good for our heart. And then we have got some green lettuce leaves, and you can pick which type of lettuce you like. I usually do butter lettuce for these. So we've got some lettuce leaves there that are gonna give us a little bit of fiber, a little bit of vitamin K, which is great. And then on this other side, we have got some Greek yogurt and some ranch mix. And so we are going to make our own dressing. So the dressing that we get on the shelf at the store can sometimes be pretty high in fat, sometimes high in sugar. You don't necessarily know what's in it because you haven't made it yourself. So today we are gonna take plain Greek yogurt, which tastes a lot like sour cream. If you haven't ever tried substituting plain Greek yogurt for sour cream, you could definitely try it because they taste almost identical, but the Greek yogurt has much more protein, and it's also got probiotics that help with our gut health and help us to digest food, and they're good in calcium for strong bones and teeth. So we're gonna take a tablespoon, and we are going to put 3 tablespoons of this plain Greek yogurt into this bowl, okay? And then we're gonna take just a teaspoon of this ranch mix. So if you really like ranch dressing or anything like that, it's really simple to make your own at home, and it's a lot healthier. So 1 teaspoon, we're gonna just add that right in there, and then we're gonna mix it up. And this is gonna be the dressing for our pita pocket. So again, it's gonna have way less of that unhealthy fat that you can find a lot in dressings. It's gonna have more protein, it's gonna have probiotics, and it's gonna have calcium. And it smells great. It smells just like ranch dressing, okay? And then the last thing here, we've got some Colby Jack cheese. So cheese is great because it's high in protein, and it's got the calcium as well. So it's got strong bones, strong teeth, so that is helping us, and it gives us that really yummy flavor that we love, okay? So you are gonna take your pita pocket, and you're gonna kind of open them up, and then you're just gonna add a little bit of that dressing in there and just kind of spread it around so that you're nice and coated. And it gives it kind of that ranch tasting flavor. It makes it nice and yummy. So we're gonna do the same thing to this other pita pocket. And then we're gonna fill it with our toppings, okay? So I've got some avocado here. I'm gonna drop those in there, and again, that's giving us that heart healthy fat, and it also gives it a good, just creamy kind of texture, because avocados have that yummy creamy texture. We're gonna add them into this side as well. And then we're gonna add some tomatoes. Gonna give it that pop of color. Do it to this side too. And these California Dreamin' Pita Pockets, they have 10 grams of protein per pita pocket, so like per side. And the protein in this recipe is coming from the pita pocket itself, the Greek yogurt, and the cheese. If you wanted to add more protein to it, you could always add chicken or tuna, beans, chickpeas, any type of thing, hummus that you wanted in there. To get a little bit more protein, you could, or you could just leave it just like this, because 10 grams is pretty good. So we've got our cucumbers in there, and then the last thing, I'm just gonna put a little bit of lettuce. And so this is nice because on a sandwich sometimes your toppings and things kind of ooze out the other side. Well, with pita pockets, they can't because it's just a pocket, so it's closed on the other end. Then once you get all these toppings kind of added in there, if you are a fan of cheese, we are gonna take some cheese and we're just gonna slide it kind of in the side of the pita pocket. So I'm actually just gonna break it down the middle. I'm gonna pick up my pita pocket here. Again, it's gonna all stay in there, which is nice. We're just gonna kind of slide it right in. So we've got a little bit of cheese, a little extra protein there. And then, this is what your pita pocket will look like. And so you're gonna put that on a nice plate, separate from the appetizer, because the appetizer will come out first. So put this on a different plate, nice and pretty for your patrons, and this will be the main course at your at-home restaurant. Now for our dessert course. Everybody's favorite course, right? Today our dessert is strawberry sherbet, and it only has 2 ingredients, okay? So we need some honey, we need about 1 pound of strawberries, okay? And they're frozen strawberries. So grab your blender, and you're gonna add this 1 pound of frozen strawberries to the blender. And strawberries are great for us because they're really high in vitamin C, which helps to keep our immune system strong, which fights off any sickness or illness that we might come across. So it's good to have that. And then we've got 1/4 cup of honey in here. So the honey is gonna give it even extra sweetness. So strawberries are sweet on their own. So if you're not a huge sweet tooth person, you could cut back on the honey if you wanted. But this is just gonna give it a nice sweet flavor. So once you get that all in there, you're gonna make sure your lid is on super tight. And then we're just gonna blend it up till it's smooth. It's almost gonna look like a smoothie. So plug your ears. And then whenever I blend anything, I like to take my spatula then again. Make sure you use a spatula and not any of your fingers because those blades are sharp down there. And I just kinda make sure we don't have any chunks. Unless you like chunks in your ice cream, then you can leave it that way if you'd like to. We're gonna give it one more spin. And then in that same bowl that you had the strawberries in, you are going to take your mixture and you are just gonna pour it right in there. So whatever container you pour it in, you just wanna make sure that it's freezer safe because we are going to stick this little dessert, this sherbet, in the freezer for 4 hours. I tell people when they're making this, especially if you're making it for dinner and maybe you were at school during the day, might be better to make this the day before so you know for sure it's nice and frozen and it's ready to go. It's a super tasty dessert and it's great because again, only has those 2 ingredients in it. So it's a lot less processed, it's a lot easier for our tummies to digest, and it tastes super yummy. So go ahead and put that in the freezer for 4 hours or overnight. Once you have all your courses made, you can set the table. So you have your appetizer, got your main entree, you have dessert, and you have your drinks. And you can also print out these fun place cards from HybeeKidsFit.com. Basically just let your people know where they're gonna sit when they come to your dinner. And then you can also have this printout from before of your menu so they know what they're about to eat. Now for your weekly challenge. I challenge all you kids fitters out there to plan your own menu and create your own restaurant at home to improve your social wellness. Take pictures of your at-home restaurant and tag us so we can see all the wonderful memories you're making with the people you love. Thanks for tuning in, Kids Fit All-Stars, for family-friendly meals. We'll see you next time.